That's how Nashville scored 2 goals. Well, that is not the way you want to start off a series. The Anaheim Ducks dropped Game 1 of the Western Conference Final to the Nashville Predators 3-2 in overtime. Isn't that just grand? A couple of redirects off players' heads, and that's the difference in the game. Okay, maybe that's not the reason Nashville won, because they dominated pretty much every aspect of the game. They were going to get their goals somehow. The Ducks just did not come prepared. Blame it on a few things. Game 7 hangover. They played 2 nights ago in Game 7. All the energy in the world, coming off that huge high, and then having to get right back at it and settle up for Game 1 2 days later. Well, not even 2 days later. At that point, it's less than 2 days. That's insane. The Ducks did not look comfortable at all at the start of the game. They tried to set the tone early by laying out some strong hits. Manson, Bowl, Ritchie all come to mind. They all laid out some huge hits. Bowl especially. He laid out a huge hit, and it was awesome. I was screaming. I was so happy about that. And overall, the Ducks did lay out the hits. I mean, not as much as the Edmonton series, funny enough, but it was 28-27 in the hits category in favor of the Ducks, so a little, pretty much even all the way around. And the Ducks were getting in front of the pucks. They blocked 19 shots, so, I mean, with Nashville putting up 46 shots total, they blocked another 19. Holy crap. Now, even with that god-awful start from the Ducks, they actually got on the board first with a beautiful Jakob Silfverberg goal early on. The Silver Surfer roofs one up over Pekarine's shoulder and puts the Ducks up 1-0 about 6 minutes into the first period. A rolling puck traveling down the right side of the ice. Silfverberg manages to catch up to it and beats the Nashville defender to it. Skates up a little bit more towards Rinne and then just on edge puts it up and in, up and over the shoulder. And we got an early 1-0 lead. So it's beautiful to see the Ducks capitalize and get an early goal after such an awful start. In contrast to Game 7 of the second round, where they started off so good and then give up that really crappy goal by Theodore and Gibson where it was awful. It was awful. Speaking of awful, let's talk about the neutral zone play and clearing the puck. Because the Ducks could not do that. For years now, the Achilles heel of the Ducks has been clearing the puck out of our zone. And what happened in Game 1? They couldn't clear the puck out of their zone. I felt like starting a drinking game for every time the Ducks failed to clear the puck out of their own zone or make some stupid blunder in the neutral zone. But I also feel like staying alive, so the neutral zone play and clearing the attempts out of our own zone, just pure awful. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I was screaming at the TV because it was just absolutely abysmal. If you stand any chance in this series, Ducks, you gotta clean up your neutral zone play, and you gotta get the puck the hell out of our own zone. Now, later in the first period, Nashville evens up the score 1-1. Play all started with Forsberg and Johansson passing back and forth to each other. Johansson made a beautiful pass to Irwin at the point, who rocketed it in, and Forsberg just managed to get the stick out, tipped it in, and it's 1-1. Unfortunately, you guys better get used to hearing me say Johansson's name. I have a feeling it'll be said a lot in this series. Now, all things considered, 1-1 after that god-awful first period, I'll take that any day of the week. We were outshot 15-6 in the first period. 15-6! What in the hell? Now on to the start of the second period, and it's still empty at Honda Center. Now, at the start of the second period, the Ducks have a chance to hit the reset button, erase that first 20-minute session, and just focus on the next 40. Now, about 2 minutes into the second period, Nashville gets on the board and takes the 2-1 lead on a Watson goal, all started by Ryan Johansson, again, that name, leading the charge up the right side of the boards, and feeds a cross-ice pass to Watson, who takes a shot, and it's going to go sailing far wide. But it ends up hitting Sami Vatanen right in the head, and just flops right into the net, and it's 2-1 Nashville at this point. I do feel they should have reviewed that goal because that was clearly a headbutt attempt by Vatanen. Nevertheless, it's 2-1 Nashville now, about 2 minutes into the second period. The Ducks did mount a charge, though. They made some huge offensive plays, putting everything on net. They were testing Rinne. They finally got their feet under them. So throughout the rest of the second period, Anaheim and Nashville are trading opportunities. A couple of grade A chances for both sides. Gibson and Rinne at the top of their games, clearly right now. I mean, they're in the Western Conference Final. You know, they got to be doing something right. So now as we head to the third period, it's still 2-1 Nashville. The Ducks are definitely playing better. Much better second period than the first, but I mean, it didn't take much more to do that. Power play options, though, the Ducks had a few. They had 4 in total. Did not come through on any of them. I mean, their power play looked awful. However, on the same side, Nashville had 5 power plays, including a 5-on-3, which I'll get to, and they didn't convert any. So the Ducks' PK has improved. It looks like they finally didn't give up a goal on the PK, but the power play woes still continue. It did not look good. Oh my God, that power play did not look good. Now, well into the third period, we're in the Nashville zone on a face-off. Nate Thompson wins it cleanly right to Hampus Lindholm. And as we know, Hampus Lindholm isn't the most offensively gifted defenseman on our team, which makes this moment even that much more special. Watching Lindholm at the point, buying his time, the patience he was showing during this play was amazing. He bought his time, he waited until the right lane opened up, and then he just absolutely blasted it from the point, up and through traffic and through Rene, and we are tied. So now I'm thinking, all right, 2-2. We've got all the momentum on our side. We tie it, we win it, let's get it done. But Ryan Getzlaf and Nate Thompson had a different idea. Now, about halfway through the third period, we see something we have never seen, or at least that I can remember. Back-to-back delay of game penalties within 30 seconds of each other. Are you freaking kidding me right now? So first we have Ryan Getzlaf, who sends the puck over the glass, and we get a delay of game call. I'm not happy about it. But I'm like, all right, you know what? The PK's been solid. We'll see what happens. Now, 30 seconds later, Nate Thompson does the exact same thing. So now the Ducks are on the penalty kill for 1 minute and 28 seconds. Holy crap. So as frustrated as I am with these stupid penalties, I got to give all the credit in the world to the Ducks penalty kill. They just showed up in game 1 because they were phenomenal. The amount of work they put in on that 5-on-3, Nashville threw everything they had at Gibby and at that PK, and they got it done. Not a single goal given up. They looked absolutely dominant during that 5-on-3. Huge to see, and I really do hope they continue to build off of that and get that PK back to its dominant fashion it was in at the regular season. So after the Ducks killed off that 5-on-3, we're back to full strength, and we're back another 10 minutes left in the third period until we head off to overtime. The Ducks threw everything at Rene. They had a lot of really good chances in the final couple of minutes of the third period. Unfortunately, Rene was standing on his head, made some huge saves, and we're off to overtime. And in the overtime session, Nashville got it done. 7-2 shot advantage during the overtime session for about 10 minutes of play, until finally James Neal on a beautiful shot pass, fake shot pass attempt from PK Subban was able to blast it through Gibson and into the net, giving the Nashville the overtime win and an early 1-0 series lead. Honestly, though, I'm not that mad about this result. I mean, the Ducks honestly had no business being in Game 1. They just got throttled by Nashville in my eyes. From start to finish, Nashville had clear control of the game, minus a couple of runs here and there by the Ducks. The Ducks could have stole this game for sure. They had their opportunities, but when it's all said and done, the better team won Game 1. Now, the main things I want to talk about in Game 1 that stood out in my mind, the sluggish start, the hangover start, whatever you want to call it. Wow. I mean, I did not expect them to come out that flat after such a great performance in Game 7. The Ducks' penalty kill was amazing, though. They killed off 5 power plays, including that 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 28 seconds. Obviously, you want to be more disciplined and not take those penalties, but it's great to see that dominant regular season penalty kill finally show up in the playoffs. My biggest issue with Game 1, though, wasn't the sluggish start. It was the neutral zone play and the lack of being able to clear the puck out of our own zone. I cannot tell you how many times I counted an awful clearing attempt, a quick neutral zone turnover just past our blue line. It was just awful. Nashville swarmed on everything. I mean, their speed was there, their passion was there, the forecheck was strong. The Ducks were on their heels for a lot of this game. And the final thing that stood out to me in Game 1 was, again, our awful power play. The Ducks got 4 power play attempts, and not one of them looked halfway decent. They could never get set up. They still haven't learned to not dump the puck in, because there's a guy named Pecorine who goes after everything, who will literally throw his body into the boards to stop a puck. Stop dumping it! Did you guys learn nothing from last year's series? Dump and chase does not work against Pecorine. And now on to my 3 stars of the game. Coming in at number 3 is John Gibson, who picked up 43 saves on the night. 3 goals allowed, but 2 of them, he didn't even have a chance on. One deflecting off Vatanen's head, the other off of Perry's head and or elbow in the overtime session. So Gibby really played one hell of a game. He deserved a lot better result than what he got out there. So hopefully he can rebound, the team can rebound in game 2 and pick him up a W. And with the 2nd star of the game, I'm going to the other side. I'm going to Pecorine, who picked up 27 saves on the night. Pretty much stood on his head all night long, was coming up with save after save after save. So you got to tip your cap to him. Unfortunately, it reminds me a lot of last season's series, and that doesn't make me happy because he arguably won that series on his own. So hopefully the Ducks get more shots on net, create traffic in front of them, rub up on him a little bit. Corey Perry, do your thing, please. And my number 1 star of the game, I told you guys you'd hear this name a lot. Unfortunately, Ryan Johansson picks up 2 assists on the night. And he's your number 1 star. He was everywhere on the ice, including on the ice when Kessler just straight up knocked him out after a face-off. But yeah, Johansson was creating plays, creating space out there. He was doing it all. Reminded me a lot of Draisaitl in the Edmonton series. All right, so going into game 2, what would I like to see different out there? Number 1, discipline. Stay out of the freaking box. Number 2, neutral zone play. Because our neutral zone play in game 1 was awful, if not non-existent. Number 3, clearing attempts. Get that damn puck out of our zone. Don't just lollygag out there with a cheap clearing attempt. Put some power into it. If you ice it, you ice it. But do not give up the puck in your zone. And number 4, get in Pecorine's head. The Ducks need to get in Pecorine's head and throw him off his game. Whether that's Corey Perry running into him, causing traffic, get a couple of early goals. We need to get Pecorine off his game, otherwise we're going to have a bad time. But I want to hear what you guys think. Go ahead and leave a comment down below on your thoughts of Game 1. Let me know what you like, let me know what you didn't like, and let me know what you'd like to see change going into Game 2. Alright, so one last thing before I go. I have to address the attendance issue. So everyone and their mothers were chirping the Ducks saying, why is Honda Center empty? Wow, Honda Center looks so empty. Even Carrie Underwood was chirping the Ducks. Go to hell. Listen. 6 p.m. on a Friday in Southern California, you might as well have walked to the arena from wherever the hell you live, because you arguably would have gotten there at the exact same time. Just to put it in perspective for you, I live 70 miles away from Honda Center. If I were to go to game 1 on a Friday at 6 p.m., I would have had to have left at 2 p.m. You have no idea, on the 5 between LA and Anaheim, it turns into a logjam. Nobody moves. I could go on about this topic forever, but I'm not. Honestly though, don't pay any attention to the trolls. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Be on the lookout for my Game 2 recap coming out on Monday. And just remember folks, if you're still feeling down about this Game 1 loss, we won a Game 7 at home. We can come back from this. It's just one game. We'll see how tomorrow goes, and we'll take it from there.